And there's a bee. Oh, I wish you could see it. There's a bee sitting on my camera as I hold it right on the top of the monitor. That's hilarious. Getting a free ride. Hey, no free rides. Go away. Go away. As we're driving to the Sugar Bottom 50 miler. It's about 4:15, 4:30. Got a little later start than I planned. Should be on the trails by about 4:40. Alright, there's the map. There's the start. And there's the gate. And it is dark as F out here. And here we go. Sugar Bottom 50 miler. 4 loops and then maybe another mile or half mile of a little extra just to get to 50. First quarter mile is a uphill gravel road. Let's have some fun. We're almost to mile 6. Coming across the bridge. Yeah, it is dark. I haven't heard any animals. No rabbits, squirrels, deer, owls. It's kind of spooky. It's really good to get some practice in at the dark. I always, when I come out here, I try and run at least a half hour. Even in the summer, I'll try and get out here as soon as I can before the sun comes up, just to get that extra practice in. And we are almost done with the north loop, and we're about to head to the south loop. Took the first loop reverse, and then the second loop I'll do forward, the proper direction. And it's a Friday, by the way, so there shouldn't be too many people out here. Hope I don't meet any dogs off leashes, because yeah, that always sucks. We're sitting at about 7.5 miles at sunrise. If I come through here, usually the vultures sit up in the trees right above me. I went through a thick forest, had my headlamp on, came around a corner, and all of a sudden I can see. It said it was going to dip its toes into the 30s, and I think it was 42 when I started, but it already feels like it's mid to upper 40s. Check it out, the swans are back. If you look way out there, there's a whole bunch of them. Those are swans. Maybe I called them pelicans on a previous video. Made it through the first loop. Coming out of the South Trails, we're sitting at just over 12 miles. It's about a quarter mile down to the car. I'm just going to shed some layers here. So this next loop will be fun because I'll take you on a tour. The third loop is always the hardest. That is mentally hard. If I can get through 3, 4 is easy. You can just kind of walk through 4, whatever you got to do through 4. Met a biker. First time out here this year for him. I have like, I don't know, 38 miles to go. I'm going to walk up this hill. It is hard to tell on a video, but it's really steep. Okay, so there's some signage here. It kind of helps you figure out where we're going. So South Trails are 200s and 300 trails, and I'm going to try and call them out. So this entry trail here is 201. It's green. Green are pretty much just connector trails, flat, easy. But sometimes there's some roots. That's about all you're going to have to worry about on a green. And that's the fire trail, or the fire road. It's an access road, but traditionally it should be a fire break, so they call it a fire road. And this one, this spot here, this turn, looks like you're going to run into this tree because the trail turns right before it. I go downhill, nice flow trail to start this run. Okay, I call this the beaver section because for a couple years there was this beaver that always came through here, and he would cut down trees, but he'd never take them. He'd just gnaw on them, knock them over, and leave them. You can see there's like 4, 5, 6 over there. It was like he was just having fun. We're on the 202. Okay, there's Mr. Snowman. So we're gonna go up 202, and this is basically a blue, and that just means there's a bit more climbing. Nothing too technical, not a lot of roots or anything. All right, second loop, and I'm already wanting to walk some hills, but I'm gonna try and run as much as I can. And then third and fourth loop will be a lot of power hiking, which is great because I need to train those muscles, practice with the poles. And the fire road that I point out is just on the other side. It's like 10 feet away from me. You can't see it though, but it's there. So if like a thunderstorm comes, I'll just bail out, jump through the forest, get on the road, head back to the car. Look at that tree falling over there. Okay, so you got this connector 201 over here, and we're gonna go to the 203. And this one is actually not my favorite. It is so rooted. This is all hand planted by Army Corps of Engineers, I think in the 60s. This used to be farmland, and then they turned it into a reservoir with a dam, and basically they ended up flooding out most of the area. So they moved all the farmers off, and then they planted a forest. I don't know if you can see like at the top of those trees over there, how they're all snapped off. That's all from the derecho. And there's trees that fall over. So when that derecho came, it was 120 mile an hour winds for 2-3 hours straight, non-stop sustained winds. And these trees just snapped like pencils, toothpicks, and the tops of them just came flying off. We're getting into the hardcore derecho wind damage area. This was just a wall of trees. You couldn't get through here. It took weeks, like maybe a month, to really get the trails back to where you could use them. So the way the trails are set up, see how this kind of angles behind me here? So you really can't get lost. They always kind of point you to the next section, so you can't make a wrong turn. You know you're gonna go a certain direction. Oh, I missed this spot right here. These used to be ledges. This one too. Let's see if I can go show that one. Those used to be flat ledges with these nice drop-offs. And so when you're going fast coming down that trail, you just kind of ramp off of them. But they've gotten worn down over the years. And off to the left is the famous Hell's Trail. This is my favorite trail to run. So you got this little 201 green connector, and that'll take you back to the fire road. And then we got 204, and there's the sign. Hell's Trail. This Hell's Trail is about a mile long, and it has some nice steep descents, some steep climbs, some long climbs. It's got a little mixture of everything. It's technical, quick switchbacks trail. This is the best one to run though, because it's so long and it really makes you work. I'm gonna be coming up to the old foundation here. This is an old farmhouse. You can see some of the leftover rock wall here and some rock wall here. And so the trail just kind of goes right through somebody's house basically. You know what I forgot? I forgot my hat. My hat's in the bag. I need to put my hat on soon and block the sun. Thought it was gonna be cloudy today. So I was able to get out here about 4:40, start running in the dark. Made it through the first loop. It was about 12.3 miles and felt pretty good. I always run a little slower in the dark and a little more timid, even with the headlamp. You don't want to do anything stupid and trip, especially on a day like today when you got to run 50 miles. And why am I out here? Well, if you've watched some of my other videos, you know that I'm training for the Tahoe 200. So today is just really time on my feet and get in a nice long run. I'm gonna practice my poles. I don't need them out here. There's like no reason for poles at all, except that you gotta train as you race. But really I'm gonna practice mostly like getting my poles out and then storing them, use them for a while and then store them, and just get really comfortable at doing that, so that when I come into aid stations I can pack them away quickly, and as soon as I leave I'm ready to go. The only thing I'm not doing today is running with my full pack of required gear for Tahoe. I did that leading up to UTMB and it was really helpful because it was so heavy, but I'm gonna have to start doing that because I need to carry 4 flasks. That's a lot of weight right there. And you're gonna have like a puffer jacket, raincoat, stuff like that for overnights. There's the sun. And you can see how hilly this section is here. Right there. Yeah, that's an apple blossom. Sugar Bottom has tons of apple blossom. I think it's called apple blossoms. I was always told if you see an apple blossom full bloom, and there's a whole bunch of them along the trail here, if you see an apple blossom, morel mushrooms are nearby. End of April, beginning of May, that we have a big morel mushroom season here. And they are expensive at farmers markets. All right, so 201's over there, that's green connector. And we got the 204X, and this one's fast. You gotta really watch your footing here. A lot of hidden roots. And when this is clear and you can really see, man, you can bomb down this hill so fast. All right, we left the 204X. We're back on the 201 connector trail. It's downhill, kind of a smooth, fast trail here. And then we're gonna go right back up the hill. That 204X, I have nicknames for everything, and I've never come up with a good one for that, because it comes right after a Hell's Trail, so I'm always thinking like Hades, or I don't know, something devil related. But someday I'll come up with the perfect name for it. It's short, but it's fun. It's like basically straight down, you turn, and then you go straight back up. Okay, so there's 201, we connect to the left here and keep going. And then we have the 205 blue. Like I said, blue is just climbing, maybe some roots, but mostly just gradual climbs. Third loop, definitely fourth loop, I'll be walking this. I'm going easy pace today, I'm not racing. I'm treating it like a race. Basically, I'm just not pausing my watch whenever I do something. I'm not trying to go so hard that I have to spend days and days recovering, because that just seems counterproductive. Like, I see people train for 200 milers and they'll do a 100 miler, or they'll do a 24-hour race. But for me, maybe it's just my body being older, is if I do a 100 miler, I'm gonna need a good 7 days off where I ease back into running, and I'll lose fitness. So I don't think I'm gaining anything by running 100 miles. I'd actually be losing fitness. But by doing that 50-60 range and training as if I'm doing a 100 miler instead of a 200 miler, then it's a lot easier. A couple of days off after these really hard runs, and I'm good. And so this week I have about 100, maybe 105 miles, somewhere in there, 110 total after this run. But running trails at 50 miles would be like running 60, 70 miles on the road. So in that regard, I'll probably do like more like 120 miles this week. Okay, for the next month and a half, somewhere in there, I'll be keeping it around 90 to 100 miles. Next week, I'm gonna take Saturday and Sunday off to do a nice recovery. And then next week, I'll do a sprint workout on Monday. That's about 11, 12 miles. And then I will do 20 milers. I'll do Tuesday, Wednesday, and then take Thursday off. And then I'll do another 20 miles on Friday. And then I'll do either a 2.5 hour trail run or a 20-mile road run on Saturday. So that'll put me at like 90, 92 miles for next week. Like I said, I've never done 200 miles. I'm kind of winging it. I've never had a coach. I like to do my own thing, my own schedule. I like to work around the weather, injuries, family, whatever it is. I don't like feeling like pressure that I have to do a certain workout on a certain day. I like having the freedom, and I basically taught myself how to run, how to do sprints, how to do speed workout, how to train for a marathon, how to train for a 100-miler. And yeah, I messed up a bunch at the beginning, but you learn from your mistakes, and that's how you get to be a better runner. There's so many trees around here that have gotten knocked over in the snow, the wind, a tree fell on them, and they arch across the trail. It just makes visually for a fun trail. Going on 301. So this is the bottom of the fire road that I was telling you about at the beginning. So it's about half mile down, half mile back. And this one, it's a green 301, but it's so rooted. It either needs to be rerouted or something. It is not a green trail. It's a very bouncy, technical trail. And I'm going to show you this cool spot around the corner here. This is called the Peninsula. This is kind of the nickname for this one. This little spot here that I'm going to go down, because why not? And I want to show you this awesome view. Look at this drop off on the ledge here. But there's all the swans flying. Right over there is a beach, and we swam out and then back for the Xterra triathlon, off-road triathlon. So we'll get back at it. But kind of a cool little spot to, if you're running, kind of sneak off the trail here. It's okay to take a minute or two during your long run to enjoy the run. And this area over here, off the peninsula here, this is all like when it floods, this comes up to right onto the trail. The trail sometimes goes under here, but this can be just completely underwater. So the way the trail is set up is they curve, they wind, and it's to help with erosion, so the water doesn't just flow straight down the trail. So it helps prevent erosion. And then also, because they're so packed down and years of use, they dry really quick. But I love these views where the trees angle across the trail. Looks like they're about to fall over. Little Icor logo on there. So we're on a green connector trail right now, but this one is fun. This is straight downhill. It's probably one of the longest downhills. Like, there's some roots to watch out for, but otherwise you really just fly down this thing. The only problem is there's trees that fall down here on this trail, and you come down so fast that if you don't know that tree is there, you're gonna come to a screeching halt or hit the tree. Oh, there's those little things. That's Santa Claus on a tractor inside a birdhouse or something. It's always fun trying to find the random things. So we're gonna go into 303, and that little 2-foot section there, that green, is 301. So if you want to cut down your run, you gotta get back to the car. You can always just hop the green trails, and it goes from being a 12-mile course down to, like, you know, a couple miles, like 4 miles if you just hit every green connector. Just came off the last blue. It is such a beautiful day. No wind. So nice not having wind. I can't tell you how many days in a row it's been windy. All right, let's talk about the gear that I'm using. I have it all laid out here on the floor in the morning before I can, so I can get up and get moving pretty quickly. So let's jump back to that. I'll show you a layout of the gear that I'm using. Got the Saucony Exodus Ultra 2, my Jeansies. I got my Black Diamond Carbon Z's, 2 flasks, Vertex S2, got my Road ID, Squirrel Nut Butter, 4-inch shorts, long sleeves, heavy gloves because it's going to be chilly, the trusty Solomon Advanced Skin 12, a buff, and the Solomon Pulsar belt because it has the loops here. I don't know if you can see them. They hold the poles really well. And then I got my Black Diamond headlamp with fresh batteries. We're good to go. I have got a lot of wear on this gear. I've had this vest here, the Solomon Advanced Skin 12. I've had this thing for 7 years, and it's still going strong. And the reviews on the new one are good, but everybody says that the previous version is so much better. So I was kind of hesitant to spend $160, $65 on a new vest, but I'm also kind of worried that this one's gonna like break, stretch, get a hole in it, or just kind of fail on me during Tahoe, and then I'm kind of screwed. And I got a couple new water bottles in the mail yesterday because during Western States I got a hole in 2 of my bottles, not just 1, but 2 of my bottles. So my next runs I'll be carrying 4 flasks, but today I'm just going 2 because it's already a hard enough day. And I got these caps too. I'll have to show you those. These are the valve covers I was talking about. Just throw them on top of your bottles and cap them off so they don't leak. You can put the caps on the bottles. There's like $15 for 2 of them, but it allows you to put the bottles in the back of your pack and then they don't leak. And I got some light gloves that I got at the Mines of Spain 100. I finished 2nd place there, and I ran so well that day. I thought I was in 10th place, and I come to the finish line, I'm in 2nd. I have no idea what happened that day, but it just all came together. Did everything right. So I got my London hat, and I got my Saucony Exodus Ultra 2 shoes on. And the the version 4 is coming out like now or next month or something. But what I like doing is watching some of these reviews of shoes, like Run for Adventure with Lloyd. He does really good reviews, and I trust his opinion. And I was watching him review the 3, and he's like, I love the 2, and the 3's not bad, but I think the 2 is better. And so what I did was I stocked up on the 2s because they're all on clearance. So I got like 4 pairs, and that'll get me through Tahoe easily. I can run 50 miles, 4 shoes, rotate through all of them and have nice fresh shoes. And they're so comfortable. They got good traction in a really muddy, like really boggy kind of crappy conditions. Something like Bighorn's famous mud, they might not do too well. I would want to go with some deeper lugs. These are like 4.5. I would definitely go 5, maybe even 6 for something super muddy and technical like Bighorn. But for most races, these shoes will do great. They're so good for distance. I mean, you can easily run 50 miles, 100 miles in one pair of shoes. I got my Pulsar waist belt on. I just got this a couple weeks ago, and it's mainly to get the poles off my pack so they don't bump into my bottles. And so when I come into aid stations, then I don't have to battle my poles to get my bottles in and out, and then I don't leave my poles like sitting against a bench or a chair or something like that, and then you walk off and you got to go back and get them. I mean, how many times have we done that where you go, oh, my poles. That said, these poles that I have, I got these 7 years ago. I got them after my first 100 miler, which was Eastern States 100. Yeah, I picked the worst 100 miler for a first time out. That thing was so freaking hard, and I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't train well. I was coming off a massive injury, and I didn't have any poles because I didn't know any better. But afterwards I was like, man, I gotta get a pair of these. So I bought these the Black Diamond Carbon Z's, and they are amazing. I know people talk about the Leckies and some other poles, but they don't have the durability. They love the poles, but they don't last a long time. But these poles, these carbons from Black Diamond, I have well over 2,000 miles on these poles, and they can still take a beating. And I mean, I went through like basically some of the hardest races, UTMB, and climbed those monster hills at Bighorn and Cruel Jewel, and just climb after climb, just putting all that power onto them. And they have not failed. They have not broken on me. The last black trail on the South Loop is called Trolls Bridge, because you go down these little ravines here. Super short, super steep, but you get to kind of sweep around, and then you're right back into another downhill here, and then you sweep around and just kind of go back and forth, up and down. It's a fun trail. I like running this one. What's nice about it is there's this little connector spot up here that I'll show you. There it is. So see how these trails come real close to each other, so you can just hop across these. So I just came from right over there, and now I'm going to go out this way, and it'll take me to the gravel road. So if I just need a few minutes on a trail, I'll kind of like shorten them up by taking some greens or cut through this little crossover section here. Okay, we're back on the gravel road. So there's these little signs here. They're a little outdated. Well, I shouldn't say outdated. They're a little old, but they'll help you navigate through the trail system, kind of figure out where you're at. You are here. So whenever I come out on the gravel here, I always make sure I don't see a biker come flying down the hill, because if you just go over that hill and then back down, you're at the car. So if I needed to leave right now because of a storm or I'm running out of time, it's only maybe 0.3 miles up and over that hill and down to the car. So now we are going to go to the left here, and we're going to run the north side. And so the south side took me maybe an hour 15 or so. 104. And that gravel road back there, if you go down basically behind where I just came from, that'll take you to the beach. And during flood years, that gravel road will get covered in water. And so this is part of the high water trail route, and it'll help you bypass the flooding. But there is no flooding right now, and so all the trails are dry and open. The south side, I can run it in really about an hour, maybe hour and 5 minutes. And then the north side is a little faster, maybe an hour. So anywhere from 2 hours to 2 hours and 15 minutes for a loop. So we're gonna go down the hill, across these little bridges here that are kind of small little streams that build up. Go across the bridge here and then back up. So you can see, I don't know if, I hope it shows up on video, but it's just a lot of ups and downs. And if you take the green trails, those are the flat ones. Otherwise, it's pretty much just constantly going up or down. It may look slightly flat, like this section right here, but there's just enough of an incline that you kind of notice it and you kind of feel like you're having to work a little bit. Hey, here's that cool bridge that I like to run down. Fly down this hill. Whoa. Such nice bridges. We are at 19 miles. I'm just under 4 hours, but I'm gonna be walking a lot more towards the end. So I'll probably be out here for at least 10 hours, which is good because I mean, as much as I want to get done and be home and all that stuff, time on feet is really important. We're gonna go across this little bridge here. And then around the corner is going to be the prairie. And that is probably my least favorite spot. It's just slow to run through, it's boring. Beginning of the prairie section, it's just basically running through grass. Kind of sucks. Anyways, I have, for my pre-race, I always do like a peanut butter and jelly on bread. And that was 4 hours ago. So what am I thinking? I was like, why am I so tired? I'm kind of dragging on some of these hills. It's because I haven't any food. So let's have a Cliff Bar. Not a sponsor. So over there, down this grassy path, right through there is Cyclocross Hill. I'll show that to you in about 40 minutes. But to get there, we're gonna have to loop all the way around the entire trail system and go through the prairie. And as long as this is mowed, it's not bad. But when it gets really tall grass, it sucks. There's a shelter basically right in the middle of the gravel road, and you can kind of see the gravel road, and the beach is right over there. And as we swoop to the right, we're gonna go down this section, and I call this the swamp. And I will show you why. This whole section here floods out. This is the first thing to flood when they have to hold back water. And so everywhere from the beach all the way back to here floods. And you come flying through here. I showed this on a previous video, but it is, yeah. You don't know that's coming. Hey guys, how's it going? Sorry, didn't mean to bother you. See all the water in that? So when you come through there, if you try and run across it, yeah, you can get splattered by a lot of water. So that's why I call it the swamp. If you come off the beach, when you first park there, you can come up this trail, and then they have this 101 here. And that's where I just came through. High water conditions. And so now we're on the 101, and this is basically the beginning of the North Trails. You come off the beach, go down the gravel road a little bit, take a left, and then you're right onto this trail. And there's some cool stuff here. There's a, what is it called, a frisbee golf area off to the left. And this north side is not as hilly per se. It's not as technical as the south side, but there's longer gradual climbs and a lot more kind of swooping ups and downs. So there's some frisbee golf over there. I was out here for trail work and we chopped down part of this tree that fell, and when we knocked it down, the chainsaw was sitting right here and it landed 2 inches from the chainsaw. Crazy. But I gotta show you this one. I call this the arch. During the Dray Trail, it got twisted, bent around, and snapped over. And when you time it right, during the certain times of the year, the sun rises right through it. You gotta time it just perfectly. But that might be one of my favorite spots in the whole trail, the arch. And we're just gonna weave up this long, gradual hill here. And way over there is where we're going. Hey, there's 2 runners over there. Hell yeah, maybe I'll catch them. We're gonna start one of the first big switchbacks here. We're gonna fly down this hill while we still have the legs. There's a kind of a nice little spot at the bottom here where you can go flat, or you go up and down, and it helps you line up the bridge a little bit better. A little ravine. And the runners we just saw were right here. And this is short and steep for a bit. Go up that hill and do a bunch of zigzagging. One of the black trails that we run, which is probably the hardest trail in terms of all the routes, is right on the other side over here. It's like 10 feet away. But to get there, we have to run another mile or two. See these like short, steep hills over here. Enough to slow you down. We're gonna go up and around to the top of that hill. And those two runners just ran by there. So I'm not that far behind them. Just a perfect day to be out on the trails. If you can't get to the beach because it's underwater, they have this high water entrance here. And you can park your car and walk over here. And there's the gate that leads you to the beach. And a short black trail. This green trail is actually longer. So I'm gonna take the green trail and hey chipmunk. And this takes you through this section. This is called the foundation because it's actually an old farmhouse foundation. There's a little bit of it right there. And one side makes for a jump, a little drop off for bikes. Okay, this is what they call the fallen tree bridge. These trees here, and these trees here. I think there was a third one. The story goes with the fallen tree bridge is one summer, a tree fell on the bridge. That happens a lot. Guy comes out, chainsaws it. Next week, another tree falls on the exact same spot. 2 trees fall. Later in the summer, a third small tree falls on the same freaking bridge. And what sucked was the second tree, I think, broke the bridge, and then they replaced the bridge, and then a tree fell on that one. Luckily, it was a small one and didn't do any damage. But that's why I call it the fallen tree bridge. That first loop was about 1,200 feet of gain and 1,200 feet of descent. And so by the time I'm done with this thing, I'll be sitting around 5,000 to 6,000 feet of climb. For Iowa, that is a lot. And there's another sign, and we're going to 103, most difficult. Actually, yeah, this is probably the most difficult trail out here. It is really rooted, really steep. This one I've never been able to bike. I was never that skilled, but running it, hell yeah. I'm so glad the leaves are blowing off here. A couple weeks ago I ran out here in the dark. I couldn't see any of this underneath all the leaves. I had no idea what I was running through. I can't believe I didn't fall. So we're gonna go up and down and up and down and up and down. That is all this is, just one big climb. And we're gonna go loop around to the left and basically come back to almost right where we started. Hey, the street's making X. Must mark the spot. Now we're gonna be walking some of these. Next loop, I'm pulling at the poles for sure. So we just came from right over there, or the fallen tree bridge. It's right on the other side there. And we did a little switchback, and just over that hill there is where I said this is where the black trail is. And then we're gonna go down this hill, up, and it is steep. There's no point to run this thing. You just end up walking faster than you do running. Another tree that arches over the trail. That's always fun. I love these arches. And around the corner here was a tree that fell over the winter, and it landed right on the trail. It was a beast. It took 2 of us to push the thing off the trail. And one person chainsawed, Mike, he's awesome. And then we just had to put all of our weight into it. So I come across the bridge here, and I came around the corner, and there was this tree blocking the whole trail. Couldn't get through it, had to climb over it. I counted the rings up, did an estimate, it was like 125-year-old tree. So it was a beast. But I think the wind snapped it, or maybe a lightning strike. give you a little view of how hilly it is out here. Heading back to the car. And this is my aid station. And there are a lot of people out here. More and more people coming. Seems every time I come down here, there's different cars. All right. Let's get in and out and get on to third loop. Back at it. Had to let my camera recharge for part of the third loop. I'm at mile 33. My left hip right here, and then like the inside of my, I don't know, hammy right by my butt is really tight and sore. I stopped at a park bench at the shelter, stretched it out a little bit, and it's felt a little better now, but I had to pull out the poles to kind of help take the pressure off of my hip. I don't know what's going on. I always have like tight, sore hips after long runs or workouts and stuff, but usually not during it. So coming back up to the foundation, I'm almost done with the north side for the third loop. I had to pull out the shocks. I think I said in my last video, like pacing or something, they call them skulls, but they're shocks headphones. Sorry about that. They're work great. I can hear bikers coming up behind me or animals or whatever. So I listened to some music for the first half of this third loop just to mentally get through it, and that's really helped. I'm in a lot better spirits than some of my previous 50 milers I've done on my own. These third loops are always hard. Once you get to the fourth loop, you're just like, well, all I gotta do is just get through this one, I'm done. So we just passed the foundation, kind of loop around down this hill. This is the best my hips have felt this whole third loop. That's not saying a lot, but it's definitely in the 50s, maybe pushing 60 now. It really warmed up. So that's the update as I kind of on to mile 34. We're about 33 and a half. So I'll pick it back up and do the rest of the tour of the north side because my camera battery died right before the black trails. I told the story of why I called this area Mary Jane and why the side of the hill over there is called the backside of Mary Jane. Stick around after the video for a bit of a story of why, as I reminisce back to the early 90s, like 35 whatever years ago, and tell a story about how I went skiing in Colorado and we came across an area called the backside of Mary Jane. We're gonna pick up where we left off here. Mile 34, there's the 101 connector trail, and this is the 104. This is my favorite trail. I love this trail because it's just long downhill, long uphill, roller coasters. So I'm gonna pack my poles away and give you a tour of the rest of the north loop. Now I was running a lot faster the last loop, and I'm starting to feel a little better on the hip. Stretching and some power hiking's helped it, a little rest. Yeah, here's the rock slide. That's literally what they call it, the rock slide. I'm gonna have to walk this a little bit. I never run through here, it's so sketchy. There's the main road to get in from Mahaffey Bridge Road. So yeah, these things, when there's frost, snow, ice, even rain, you can slip and slide on them. As we make our way over there, that's where the backside of Mary Jane is. And check out this tree. When this first fell, it looked like art. It was amazing. Okay, so now we're coming down. We're off the backside, and now we're going down the front of the hill. And this is kind of a roller coaster. And this used to be really ups and downs, but it's again worn out with bikers. But when you have fresh legs and you run through here, you can almost get a little bit of air right on this hill. You come up and you get almost like a 0G effect on it. So we call that the astronaut hill because you just kind of float for just a split second if you're going fast enough. There's a bridge over here that's been abandoned. The hillsides of the creek were eroding out and they were going to take the bridge with it, so they had to reroute the trail. Coming up onto the newer bridge. You know what? I never walked through here. I got a good photo of the creek. Now we're going back up 104. So we came from way at the top of that hill and down. I know, to you guys who live in Colorado or even Virginia and stuff or whatever it is, You're like, those are hills, those are like bumps. This is the biggest we've got around here to run. It's my playground. But there's the picture of the abandoned bridge, and you'll see how it's about to fall in. The hillside's gonna take it one of these days. And we're almost out of the black 104, last black trail on the north side. We went through that entire forest over there, and now we gotta go straight up this hill. I don't know how anybody bikes up this thing. It is so steep. I've never ran up it, let alone bike up it. Yeah, and you see how steep it is. It just drops off. And we're back on to the 10 something. And so that's somebody's farm field over there. That's how close the trails get to private property. And yeah, whatever the green trail is here. But this is like a nice downhill. And the rest of the section on the north side is kind of rollers and a lot of switchbacks. Nothing steep. So it's pretty easy from here all the way back to the gravel road. And then it's a long hill to get back to the car. So we shall do some highlights throughout the rest of this trail as we make our way to the end of loop number 3. I am like maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes from being back at the car. And I can't wait to start the final loop. Loop 4. Oh, I forgot how hard this is. I've only done 50 miles out here once, and that was last year. And oh, that was hard. And then the other time I did a 50 on my own was around Lake McBride. They call it the Thursday Trail, or Thursday Loop. There's a run club around here called Thursday. Cool guys. And it's like a 12.5 mile loop. So 2 years ago I did that for 4 loops on probably one of the hottest days. It sucked. It was so hard. I'm like walking down the highways or on the roads and stuff. There's some road sections and the asphalt was just beating on me. But I do need to get some heat acclimation. I have a sauna, by the way. So I use a sauna for heat training and altitude training. It really helps with my breathing, my lungs. I think it really helped me get through some of my last couple years of mountain racing. Hips feeling better. If I can just hold it for one more loop. Go home and do a cold plunge. Do the recovery boots. Just kind of rest the rest of the night. Whew. So it's just a lot of these. Go around a turn. Go around a turn. Basically all the way back to the car. So there's some cool bridges up ahead. I'll take you on a stroll through those and some other little fun sections. Nice newer bridge here. Without these bridges, this would just be almost unrunnable, unbikeable, especially when there's any rain or flooding. But with all those bridges, you can spend all day out here running. Oh wait, that's what I'm doing. I'm literally going to be out here all day. I'll probably get done around 3:30 or so. This last loop is going to be a lot of walking unless I get that second wind. I'm probably on my 5th wind right now. This is a fun story. So as I come around this turn here, when I'm running early in the morning, it's just super quiet. And all of a sudden you hear this crack. And then you can hear this kind of weird noise. And then a massive thump. And I come around that turn, right on the other side. It's actually, I think it's that tree right there. Yeah, that tree had fallen literally as I came around that turn. We're talking 30 seconds, a minute earlier, and the tree lands near me, on me. Yeah, that was like 10 years ago, and I still remember it like it was yesterday. I'll show you the tree here. It landed straight across the trail, and so they just chainsawed out the middle and left the tree on both sides. Yeah, this is it right here. So this tree right here, I mean, a matter of seconds, minutes, and that tree lands on me or in front of me or right behind me. Yeah, and who says trail running's easy and safe? Coming to Paul's Passage, that's the name of this bridge. Just a second before this bridge, you can go up on this hill here and it takes you down the cyclocross hill. You can see the bridge over there, a little walkway there, and you go straight up that hill. So if you're really brave, you take the cyclocross hill. And so during trail races out here, they'll make you go on the cyclocross, and bike races and make you take the cyclocross hill, because it's kind of famous around here, and not a lot of people make it to the top. You'll see like at a race, like a bike race, first 10, 15 people, they cruise up with no problem, because you know they're the best. And then the rest of them are like, they'll get almost to the top and they'll put their foot down, and then the later pack will just walk it. Okay, so you come up Paul's Passage, and now there's a shelter way over there, and there's the prairie. And so now it's kind of prairie for a little bit, and then we go back in the trails for a little bit, and then we're onto the gravel road and back to the car. And there's the biker guy. He is going to take Paul's Passage. Right? Oh, wait. Is he taking cyclocross? Oh, he's taking cyclocross. Let's go up and see if we can catch him. Yeah. That's what I say.
Whoa.
How's it going?
Good.
I was just telling people about cyclocross hill and how hard it is.
Well, my chain fell off.
Oh, that's the worst. This little hill is my nemesis. It's so small, but it just always, it always stops me. There goes mountain biker guy. He's pretty good. He's got fat tire on, and he almost made up the cyclocross hill. So the problem with that hill is you want to get speed going down it, so you're in a fast gear, and then you got to switch to your granny gear to get up the very last bit of it. So if you get enough speed, you can kind of coast up to the top, but then you got to be in that gear to like climb those last couple of feet. And his chain fell off, and you can just see him just like come to a screeching halt. What kind of timing is that? Tell me about cyclocross hill, and then there's a guy on cyclocross hill. I couldn't have timed it better. I love running. You never know what you're going to see out here. Oh, hey, there's that bridge that I've ran down a bunch of times. I did my preview video. You can kind of see how it slopes down and then shoots across. That's a neat video. So this section right here, I call this the roller coaster, because it's just up and down. When I have fresh legs and you get some speed and momentum, it's kind of like you got that big hill climb on the first climb of the roller coaster, and it's like chick 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 chick, and then all of a sudden you're going boom. And as long as you maintain your momentum, it's just up and down, up and down. And if you run it just right, you just have a nice momentum going. But there's something fun around every corner. I can't believe how much better my hip feels. Oh, stopping and stretching at the shelter, that paid off. That's what I love about ultra running, is you can take 5 minutes, 2 minutes to gather yourself up, 10 minutes, a half hour, whatever it is. And you might go from like wanting to quit or DNF, and then all of a sudden you're like feeling great. And it's like, I was just trying to tell people, they're like talking about quitting or something. It's like, oh, I just don't feel good. Oh, my hip. It's like, well, stretch it out, take a break, get some food, take a nap, whatever you got to do. But let's go to the next aid station. And they're like, all right, I'll go. And then by the time we get to the next aid station, we go from wanting to drop out to like, yeah, I feel great. And it's amazing how the fast the body can recover or change. Or you can be like great 1 second and horrible the next. You can be stomach issues, and then all of a sudden you're good and you want to eat. It's like, oh, it's fascinating. And we're about to start the last and final loop. I'm so excited. I'm getting chills because I'm so excited. I could probably tell you my entire resume of races that I've done. My favorite stat of all time is that I've ran 130 races total, every distance from a 5K to a 100 miler, everything from a sprint triathlon to an Ironman, 4 Ironman, 1,200 milers, no DNFs, not one. And like today, man, this whole first half of the loop, my hip had me thinking, I don't know if I'm gonna make it through this one. Maybe I should shut it down and not risk it. And then I just kind of stopped for a second, did a quick stretch, and now I'm feeling awesome. I feel like I could run this 4th loop. I haven't felt this good at the end of a 3rd loop in, I don't know, ever. So right to there's the gravel road, and then it's onto the car. I'm so excited. Final loop, and it's basically just power walk it, whatever you got to do to finish. I think I've shown you the entire trail system. I'm gonna slow down here because there is fishermen. I always look for cars, bikers, and dogs. We are at mile 37. I did the second and third loop forward. I did the first loop backwards. There's the beginning trail, and there's the signage. We just came up that beast, and so now we're gonna run down this gravel road and on to loop 4. I just gotta top off water, hydration, food, grab some snacks, and yes, I'm so excited. One final loop. I made it through 3. 3's the hardest. Here we go. At the beginning of the trails, there is a signage. I got some drinks, I got snacks, anything I could think of. I even brought sunglasses. So let's gear up and get out of here. Grab the energy drink. It's taking me that burst of caffeine I needed to get this last loop. I got a pack of Scratch. I brought a white chocolate Snickers I found on clearance the other day. That's my comfort food today. And I got peanut butter and jelly. I had some chips. I topped my bottles off. I think we're good. Hey look, trails are open. Mile 37-ish, 37 and a quarter. That's my little Boston quarter. Go down by the harbor, have some lobster, and eat this peanut butter and jelly as we're going up the hill. Got a little Snickers bar. I don't know if it's any good. It's white chocolate. White chocolate's so gross, but I figured what the heck, I'll give it a go. My shoes are a size 10.5. I would usually wear 10. But for anything distance, I always go a half size up to allow for swelling of my feet. It's a well-known fact, but I thought I'd share that too. And right now, I'm really glad I got that half size because I redid my lacing and I could tell my feet are a little bigger, a little swollen. But these Ultra 2s are doing great. I haven't even changed my socks or my shoes. I'm gonna finish this up, run a little bit. I'll check in every handful of miles as we finish up this last loop. If I think of something fun to share, a fun story, I'll let you know. Gotta go. Firing platoons, everything from AC/DC, Matchbox 20, even Olivia Rodrigo, because you know this is a bad idea, but it's working out. I'm almost done with 50 miles. I'm just over 40, so 9-ish to go, which on the trails is forever. On the road I'd be like piece of cake, but I'm at 5,000 feet of climb, 5,000 feet of descent, and I'm pushing around 6,000 calories. Short of 10 hours, so yeah, I'm probably not gonna get done until 11 hours. That hip pain slowed me down. 5 more miles on the north side. So much easier when you're running with people at a race and you got volunteers yelling at you and you got a crew and other runners around you. The reason this is hard is because I'm all alone. I have no crew, I have nobody to push me, just myself. It's all mental toughness, physical toughness. Let's just get it done. One last splash. Another thing that makes self-supported races hard is that I don't have to run the hard trails. I can bail out and do an easy trail. I can make the last 4 miles as easy as I want. But will I be able to say I ran Sugar Bottom 4 loops? No, not honestly. And if I cut the course now, I can't do that at other races. I can't do that at Tahoe, Traverse City. I I can't even do that in a marathon. So do it upright. Let's go. Finish what you started. Take the hard trails. That's where the training gets good. This is when it really pays off. Here at the end of the race, you got 4 miles to go. You can feel the finish line. Dig down. Build up that confidence. Build up those legs, that stamina, mental toughness. Let's go. Set the tone. With 4 miles to go, I'm still running. This is probably the best fourth loop I've ever ran for a 50 miler on my own. One more time to the rocks. Two and a half to go. 2.5 sounds like 10. But I'm still running. I'm not just running for the camera. I'm actually running. I'm really proud of myself for how hard I'm pushing it at the end here. Last block trail. 2 to go. Just under 48 miles. Less than a mile and a half to go. One to go. And we are back at the gravel road. So it's about 0.3, 0.4 to the car. So that means we're going to be a smidge short. So I'm going to walk up the gravel road here, and then I'm going to take the fire road. I like to finish right at 50. I'm at 5,955 feet of climbing, 59.42 for descending. My watch says I have almost 6,500 calories burned. Right now, I want a nice cold root beer. Let's have some fun and finish this up. Let's go down the fire road. I haven't taken down the fire road before. Pretty cool area over here. So now we're running right between a trail on the left and a trail on the right. 7. Yeah, we're gonna take a guess and say that that's far enough, because I really don't want to go over 50. I want to finish up right at the car and then do a little celebration. Man, I can't believe how my hip came back. That just goes to show, don't give up. You might be struggling at some point during a race, but man, this whole last fourth loop, I've been running slow, don't get me wrong, but I've been running. I only walked the hills. Otherwise, I was running anything I could. I even ran a couple uphills. But yeah, it's like you have a little moment, a little struggle, just kind of dig down, figure it out, regroup, take a walk, take a break, whatever you gotta do. Is it too early to start celebrating? Yeah! Quarter mile to go. Whew. 50 miles. No crew, no pacer, nobody, just me. That is hard. I mean, if I had somebody to talk to other than you guys, that made it so much easier. 11 hours. Holy cow, 11 hours I've been out here. Look at that. It's right there. Yeah. Let's turn around. 49.9. 8.99. 50. Okay. As hard as it is to believe, that was actually fun. 50 miles. So, I'll see you at Traverse City in about 4 weeks. 100K. Until then, go out and enjoy the run. All this Mary Jane. This is going to sound horribly dumb of a story, but I'm going to share it anyway to see how this turns out. So I like to give nicknames to all the sections. It's just so, for me, it's more fun. I call this first part Mary Jane in honor of the section that these guys back in the old days, when I was in 8th grade, 9th grade, we went to Winter Park, Colorado for skiing over spring break. And I was skiing with guys who were like 3 years older than me, and I'd only been skiing like 2 times ever, but I was so natural at it. And I'd shoot my arm, and I was awesome. That was like the one thing in the world that I was just naturally good at. Kind of running too. They take me on this ski lift to the very top, and they're telling me about this like the night before, and they're like, yeah, you want to go with us to Mary Jane? We're gonna go ski the backside of Mary Jane. I'm like, what the hell are you guys talking about? And I said, all right, I'll go, thinking like, this can't be that hard. Now, you have to remember, I'm like, I don't know, 14, 15. I don't know, this is pre-internet. I don't know how these guys knew about this. Yeah, how do we find our information back in the day before the internet? Okay, back to the story. So, we go up this lift, right? And it's like our second day at Winter Park or something like that. And I don't remember anything. The whole place has changed. This is like early 90s or something. I mean, long ass time ago. So, hi butterfly. We get on the lift and we go up. And they go, yeah, you gotta take this connector lift. We're going all the way. I'm like, all right, whatever, all the way. And we get up, and you can just see the mountain is getting steeper and taller and harder. And we get off the lift, and I'm like, all right, where are we going? And I go right, and I look over, and they're going left or something. I'm like, what are you guys doing? And they're like, no, we gotta go down and around and connect on another ski lift, and that'll take us to the top. I'm like, 3 ski lifts or some, this is a long time ago. I don't remember exactly how it all worked, but I remember we just keep going up and up. I'm like, what is going on here? Yeah, these guys are crazy. This is nuts. All right, but I wanted to fit in. I want to be with the cool kids, because I mean, when you're in 8th grade and you're hanging around with juniors and seniors in high school, you like think you're awesome. You think you're so cool. I wasn't. I was immature. I was dumb. I was, did I mention immature? And I overestimated my abilities so much. But like I said, I can hang with these guys. So we get to the top of the lift. We get off, and I'm like, okay, which one are we going down? And they go, no. We're not going down. That's the Mary Jane. That's the Black Diamond one. We're not going that way. I'm like, oh, good. That looks so hard. They're like, no. Follow us. And they cut us through this forest. Ooh, bridge. Now we're gonna hike it all the way to the top, and hopefully I get done with the story right when we get to the backside of Mary Jane. So we go through this forest, and it's not like a little forest. I'm like, we're making our way like just cross-country skiing, pushing our way through it, through this kind of flat, rolly section. And we get through the forest, and all of a sudden there's this massive opening of this like downhill where the forest is completely clear. And all I see, it was probably only like a quarter mile. It looked like a mile. It looked like 3 miles of moguls. The hardest, steepest moguls I've ever seen in my entire life. They're like, dude, we found it. And they're all excited. And I'm like, wait, you mean you didn't know where you're going? You were just winging it? They're like, yeah, we had no idea. And I was like, cool. All right, let's go back. And they're like, no. We're going to go down. I'm like, you got to be freaking kidding me. This is where the ski patrol train and create moguls. And they put these bamboo sticks up, and they were like weaving. They were like, this is meant for the best of the best, like Olympic caliber skiers. And we're just a bunch of idiots. And so there's 2 choices. You basically hike back to the lift, uphill, in deep snow. It'll take forever. Or you follow guys and you try and be cool, and you just kind of play down how scared you are, and you go down the moguls. So I go down the moguls. I go down 4 or 5, and I'm like, oh my God, this is hard. And I stop, take a breather. I go down 2 or 3 more, stop, take a breather. And I'm like, these guys are gonna crush me. And they go like 10, and then they start doing the same thing. And they're like, man, this is so hard. Maybe we shouldn't have done this kind of attitude. But we made it all the way down. None of us got hurt. None of us really fell. And it was like the most epic ski day ever. We did some of the hardest trails. We found hidden trails. And I think that was like one of the years. Maybe that was the same year. We got lost, went through this boundary, and we went out of bounds, which is a huge no-no. And all of a sudden we're in this deep powder snow going through a forest. We were such idiots back then. But I would never do that now. I don't have the skill, and I'd probably be too scared to do it. But I did it back then. I skied the backside of Mary Jane. And so we are on the backside of this big hill that we just came up. And there's this little loop over here. The trail just kind of connects around, and there's more of the road that accesses. And they got these little ups and downs over here. And as you can see, now we're on the other side of the hill. We're on the backside of the 104. backside of Mary Jane. Long story short, okay, that was a pretty dumb story, but I'm gonna record it, if anything, for my own benefit. It was awesome. Oh, good memories. That's kind of what life is about. If you have a chance to do a cool race, skydive, go on a vacation to a neat place, whatever it is, do it. Take advantage of every opportunity, because that's what life's about. It's about the stories, it's about the memories, it's about the experiences. And now I look back and I'm like, oh man, do I got some stories. So yeah, that's what's fun to share when you're pacing or running with somebody through the night at a 100-miler. They go, man, I haven't seen something like this or whatever. And they'd be like, oh, let me tell you about a time. And then you just realize an hour or two goes by and all of a sudden you're like, hey, we're at the aid station. All right. But yeah, backside of Mary Jane. Good times, good memories.